Welcome back, Sheepdogs. My name is Ron Gilkey, and I'm the owner and the chief instructor for the Sheepdog Project. Today, it's another rainy day in Pennsylvania, so we're going to be inside doing a little training inside, and I thought I would just go and do a little review for you, a little video to show you some of the tools that I use inside my own house. So right now, I'm just in a hallway down in the basement. I actually have about a 15-yard hallway here that I can utilize. It actually goes through a couple of rooms, but I can get a decent shot at 15 yards. So I can work from 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 and feel pretty confident with that. Anytime that we're doing dry fire work in your house, the first thing is safety. So I always want to make sure that we sanitize the area. We want to make sure that we don't have any bullets in the area, the vicinity of the rooms that we're working in. You have no bullets in your person, no magazines, loaded magazines on your person. You can have empty magazines, but just verify that they are empty. You do that before you even get started, right? So make your weapons open, empty, and safe to verify all that stuff. Now, the cool thing is, today we're going to be using a laser system in the chamber, in the gun. So this laser system prevents you from being able to put a bullet in the gun. So it's actually additional safeties. So the system that I have today is actually from Laser Ammo. And Laser Ammo had a package deal where I got the dry fire magazine and it's actually called a short strike magazine, and also the short strike laser. The two of them together came out to be about $344 for the IR laser, $310 for just the red laser. So the key is, like, I can only use this laser with this magazine. Not a big showstopper, but it's a proprietary thing, right? So I can't just put any dry fire magazine in and any laser in, because if you do that, the dry fire magazine prohibits the firing pin from going through the breech face to actually activate the back cap on your laser. So the two of these generally wouldn't work together, but dry fire mag came up with a laser that has a magazine that has a LED on it, and that LED will light up this little window in the back cap of the laser, the short strike laser, and emit the laser. So it works pretty well, but you can only use this magazine with this laser. This laser won't work for anything else. Again, putting the laser in the gun is pretty simple. You just drop the laser into the chamber, and it comes with this pipe. So this is a safety pipe, but I also like to use it because it helps just keep the laser nicely lined up with the barrel, the center of the barrel. So you stick that in and you screw this orange cap on. And then you can rack the slide. So now I can't chamber a bullet in this gun. I have this little cap on there to indicate that there's something in the chamber, something in the barrel. So it just helps keep things much safer. So by going down that path, I started looking at some other options because I needed a system for my P365. So I started looking online and came across iDryFire's new laser system that they have. I guess I don't know how new it is. It's just been a minute since I've looked for lasers for a dry fire system. And they call it the smartest iDryFire laser short flash. It's essentially a laser cartridge that will work by a sound activated laser. So the dry fire magazines make an audible click, and when that click is heard by the laser, it's going to emit the laser. So it'll work with any dry fire magazine. So even if this dry fire magazine that is the short strike magazine goes dead, I can actually use that other laser and don't have to worry about charging this up. So therefore I can use any dry fire magazine in any gun, any 9mm. So I went ahead and made a purchase, and it ended up being the dry fire magazine from the dryfiremag.com was $104.94. The cartridge, laser cartridge, was $180, and the reactive targets were actually on sale for $59. $59.99, $60. They're typically $65, so save $5. But I got these whenever I made my purchase with the Titan X pistols, and that's through Mantis, like another amazing company. So right now we're talking about iDry-Fire, Laser Ammo, and Mantis X, 3 very reputable companies. Each one with a little bit of a different venue, but everybody kind of doing the same thing. But these are great targets. It's an 1.5 inch circle in the center there. And so your laser has got to strike somewhere within this 1.5 inch diameter. When you turn it on, it has a blue light around it, and then if you shoot it, it goes to red, and you shoot it, goes to blue, and there's a number at the top. So when you shoot at this target, it changes. So the cool thing is, like, as this is sitting here, it's going to start making a sound, right? It's going to flash, it's going to beep. That's actually indicate that it's on, so you don't kill your battery. But I'm going to be utilizing it today for a reactive shoot concept. So when it does its beep and flash, I'm going to draw a punch out and shoot 2 rounds center mass and do my scan. So I can actually record myself. Well, I am recording myself, but you can record yourself. There's that beep. So when it does that, I'm going to step, draw, punch out, and shoot 2 rounds center mass and do my scan. So you should be recording yourself to go back and look to find out, did I actually do what I think I did, right? Our body gets into motion, and sometimes we start skipping steps and taking shortcuts. We're just humans, and that's just how we are. We're built that way to be lazy creatures. So if I can go back through and review myself frame by frame, I can tell if I missed any of the steps and what I need to work on. So that's some of the stuff we're going to be doing today to just demonstrate some indoor dry fire range practice that is not costing that much money, because when you do the math, right, the laser is definitely much cheaper than the bullets are. You have the initial cost, so let's say we'll go with $374 I just paid for the new system for my SIG. 1,000 rounds of 9mm anywhere between $250 and $300, and if you're ordering it, you're going to pay more for shipping. So if I squeeze the trigger 1,000 times, it's now paid for itself. If I squeeze the trigger 2,000 times, I've now saved that same amount. It's paid for itself and then some. If you do 3,000 times, you get the idea, right? So the more you practice with it, the more money you're going to save in the long run. And truly, a lot of what we do is a technical concept of the training. We can always get good with the bang, controlling the recoil, getting our body in that good, solid position to manage the recoil, but we can practice all that stuff without the bang, and therefore, when the bang comes, you're able to handle it easier. But that smooth squeeze on the trigger and the follow-through is really going to be the essential pieces to making that bullet, better yet, allowing that bullet to go where you want it to go, where you think it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and set this range up, and then we'll switch things around, and we'll get some training done. Okay, so here's my range for today. I'm 5 yards, 15 feet from that door, so I'm going to spin this around. I'll lock it down with a little bit of an angle so I'm not having to point right at it. Right now I'm going to activate the target, and I'm going to activate the target by stepping, drawing, punching out, and shooting slowly. Squeeze, hold, breathe, sights, reset, just to get this thing activated. Again, I'm 7 yards away from it, shooting at an 1.5 inch circle. I have missed quite a few times, so don't expect perfection. I mean, by the grace of God, there's only been one perfect human on this earth, and that was Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. So we're not expected to be perfect like him by his grace. I'm just asking that you do as close to perfect as you possibly can, because right now, nobody's trying to kill you, and we want to do the best job that we can with this technical stuff so that your brain maps us out, and all we have to do then after that is just worry about controlling the recoil with our good body management. So now I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step and get my grip. I'm going to elbow up, tuck and roll, high press, punch out, line sights up. In this case, I'm putting the optic just a little bit above where that circle is, finger on the trigger, and slowly squeeze and hold. Breathe, sights, reset. Slowly squeeze and hold. Breathe, sights, reset. Finger up the trigger, come back and assess. Did it work? He's down. Start my scan left, look back at my bad guy. Start my scan right, look back at my bad guy. Come down that sole position, look behind me, and then come back up and look back at the bad guy. That's the proper sequence that you're going to go through each time that thing beeps. So when it beeps, we're going to go step, draw, punch out, and fire 2 rounds in that threat each time it does it. So I should have did it there, but I'll catch it on the next one. Again, if you miss, don't just be, ah, crap, I missed, and put the gun away. Get some good trigger time in there. Get a couple extra reps in there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're squeezing as smooth as you possibly can without disturbing the sights, it's going to be very close. So it's just a matter of figuring out, it's the little Kentucky wind to find out where that laser is hitting in relation to your optics. So next time it beeps, I'll go. Assess, did it work? Start my scan. I had to shut my mouth because I find sometimes as I'm talking, air's changing inside my lungs, and I miss more often when I'm talking than not. So I go through that process. I exhale halfway as I'm punching out there. I hold that until I squeeze, hold, breathe, finish the exhale, trigger reset. Do it again. So squeeze, hold, breathe, sights, reset. So you go through that whole sequence every time to teach your brain what it needs to do in that high stress situation. Come back and assess. Did it work? Start my scan. Slowly, safely, reluctant, reholster. So that's the sequence each time that you're going through this process. I can get thousands and thousands. I'm telling you, I have got thousands and thousands of reps right down here in my basement with these laser systems because this is what it takes to get accurate. Now, I generally don't talk about bullseye shooting in our courses. We talk about combative accuracy, and combative accuracy means that I am hitting somewhere within this human-sized target. More importantly, up in the high center mass region. More importantly, in the heart region. So you start dialing it down to a fist-sized object that's in the chest is what we're really looking for to shut this threat down. So if I can hit an 1.5 inch diameter circle from 15 meters, I'm feeling pretty confident that even on the move, I could be hitting that 3-inch object or 8-inch object, or better yet, 18-inch object from whatever distance. The key here is just do the best that you can. Be smooth, controlled, videotape yourself, go back and again, just review it to see, am I doing all the steps that I need to do to get this job done? Get the perfect training that you can now without the response of having to worry about somebody shooting at you, and make it count. It's better to get the training you need now while the time is right before you find yourself in a situation wishing that you had our training right now. My name is Ron Gilkey, and I am the owner of the Sheepdog Project. Keep training, stay vigilant, stay strong.